my back, boy. Please don't think it's sweet, I stay with the heat even though I'm a sad boy. You better watch the way you breathe around me for that breath be your last, boy. I've been drinking red, boy. I've been chopping out these birds, McCoy. No one made my rich in really 9 months. Overseas, honey skin.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Your boy Prince of What Is here, back here with this part, and I have to apologize obviously because I was supposed to bring this out way sooner, but I was preoccupied doing other things like doing the Naruto series, and I hope you all enjoying that. The second part came out and should be a blast, but let's focus on this today. I will also come up with the last part of the Yororishi series. It's going to be pretty good, but I think you're going to be less focused on the fights because I'm pretty sure I've established how OP Asta already is. There's no need to do more because it would just break the scaling of the world. You're going to like the ending much more. I think it's much more, well, just settles everything, even if I don't talk about everything. Now, let's get into it. Do whatever, like, subscribe, you know how it is, but enjoy yourself. And I'm going into the Black Clover movie, as you can tell from this title. So, yeah, this is my take on it. Let's go. If you don't want to listen to the recap, go to this number, and yeah. Alright, so the last part began with Zora making an entrance and getting everyone's ire as he joins Asta's team and the matches begin. Asta is an overwhelming force of nature, especially against Kirsch, who insults him and his muscles, and so Asta has to beat some respect into him. And he does, but he broke his promise to Leywin to only use time magic so he can train it at the same time as he's fighting, so he got mad, took a breather. When he came back, he watched Finro fight Langris, but things turned out horrible as he took it upon himself to beat Langris and did so very easily, before then rallying everyone together. Even if he doesn't care about the Night Order, he wants them to care at least. He and Yuno's fight, however, is anticlimactic as it ends with one blow from Asta making him the winner, and when they all regather at base, later Mereoleona comes and takes them to begin the attack on their enemies, and there they find out that Zora is also a Black Bull. Now at the start of their operation, as Asta's team heads to a great mana source, that same source comes to them, resulting in a fight against the actual Licht, who is actually freed by Asta giving back his grimoire and blades so he can explain everything. But just then, a spell is dropped, allowing the elves to start inhabiting bodies. Before they cause too much damage, they are sealed away though, when Zagreus is quite easily beaten and turned to nothing by Asta. What's going on? Why are they attacking us? All the magic knights who were wreaking havoc would suddenly stop, looking around at the destruction and being shocked at what they had done. Now back at the Gravito Belt, as Licht and Yuno gather all the souls of the elves over Asta, he goes from lending power to using his own, and he calls for Leywin, who comes out taking his true form and thudding to the floor. At this point, Raya and Paltry begin to stand, with Paltry's soul rising out from William, leaving him with a scarred face once again. "What is he doing?" asked William. "I'm gonna bring an end to this whole goddamn mess so it never happens again," says Asta. "Elemental magic, Steel Series." The ground begins to shake as a massive rune spreads, from which rise these proportionate marionettes made of metal, as Asta also puts in each of their heads a magic stone. But at this point, his nose begins to bleed as he asks for Licht to put those souls in the marionettes. "You can't be thinking." "Yes, do it before he ruins himself," said Leywin. "I'll help." He gathers the ether in the air and covers the marionettes with it as Yuno and Licht scream, throwing each soul into these dolls who begin to illuminate while slowly forming, matching the body type of the soul in them. "I think this might be the craziest shit I've seen you do, brat," said Mereoleona. As he drops to the floor, Asta begins to pass out as Yuno grabs him and turns him over, yelling for him to stay awake until he passes out smiling. Magic really is amazing. Looking at themselves, each and every single elf brought back looks around their comrades, their friends, their family, and especially Licht. They all tear up, seeing his own son for the first time, and daughter before him actually. Yuno exits his form with Belle for once actually worrying about Asta. "That dummy, messing with souls isn't something light." "No, he'll be fine," said Leywin. He takes his much smaller form, falling on Asta's chest, saying that he and Asta must stay close to each other so this power doesn't eat him up. "But he'll be fine. I think you have bigger things to worry about." "Licht, are we truly back? It feels like a dream." Licht would walk to his children, patting them as they cry over his shoulder, and he says, "I really hope it isn't. Tetsuya, they're okay. They're alive." Now we fade to black. Now this was crazy. The elves were back. A century-old race, now considered a myth, returned, and the news spread to nobles quickly. While the elves took to Elysia, their old and now new home, protected by the Dryad, Julius was okay, but he was now a child, and that is to say that he was no longer really the Wizard King in actuality. However, neither side made a move, this being the nobles or like the people on Julius' side. Not until the one person who did all this woke up and gave their say, or they wouldn't be able to handle his wrath. The kingdom was rebuilt very slowly, so all of the Black Bulls still went to the Heart Kingdom and made a partnership with Loa Petrica. The race was on to fight the devils, but it felt so empty. Nero had to say goodbye to Lumiere, who got to see the elves again, and he met some of the old friends that he made. Yeah, he met someone he would consider his nephew, and then someone he would consider his own niece, and then he had to say goodbye. A week passed after all of this, and Yami is seen sitting reading a newspaper in the base, with Gordon and Ghosh being the only ones still here. Gray is obviously here, he's up in his room, and the others were already training at the Heart Kingdom. This is when certain footsteps begin to make their way down. Actually, it sounded like two people. Asta made his way down with a worried Gray at his side, asking if he was truly okay. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm tough, you know. Guys! As he looked forward when he came down, he saw his shocked teammates and tilted his head confused. Something wrong? You idiot, you finally woke up! Asta! Gordon and Gray would jump him, hug him, overwhelming Asta, who says to Gray that he's already fine and it's not that big of a deal. And Gray says he's being emotional because Gordon is being emotional, so you know how it is. And Yami would then stand, approaching. Who the hell told you to take a nap after what you did, you bastard? Huh? Okay, I didn't know, I just, ow, let go. As he holds Asta's skull with a death stare, he says, we're going to the capital, got it? Yes, sorry. As he lets go, Asta holds his head with Ghosh asking, aren't you being a bit harsh? Since when did you give a damn? I don't, Marie does. If he makes Marie cry, I'll kill him. Welcome back, kid. Not gonna lie, it's been boring without you, said Yami. This brightens up Asta, who smiles, saying, it's good to be back. We then cut to Asta and Yami making their way through the capital, with Asta strutting while swinging his arms back and forth as he asks, so, this is fun? You really brought a whole lot of attention to yourself, so deal with the consequences. It's really him, right? Yeah, I heard he was dead. What's going on? People thought I was dead? Asked Asta. They're just rumors. Just wait till we go see Julius, alright? And so they reach the castle, and every knight that sees Asta look at him surprised while he just walks forward until he's brought before Julius and all the knight captains sitting together. You sure took your sweet time, said Charlotte. Welcome back, Asta. Sit. We have a lot of things to discuss. Fine. For the record, I only brought back the elves because I wanted everyone to work things out. As he takes a seat, Nozel says, oh, you did a lot more than that. A portal at this point opens up with Furno stepping through. Asta, it really is you. Furno-senpai. You guys are here too? Stepping through, Lick smiles, saying he waited quite a bit to meet him as he takes an empty seat, and through the portal also step Veto, Raya, and Fauna. The captains still can't get used to it, but they have to. Nami takes a seat as well, with Asta then saying, can we move this fast? I need to go to the Heart Kingdom like ASAP. Fenrir comes to Yami's side, telling Asta everyone's training for the Dark Triad, and he obviously is very confused, asking what the hell those people are, at which point Julius finds it the perfect time to catch him up on all prior events he missed out on. How the royals are acting right now, the case of Nero, how the elves coexist, or how they will coexist, and most importantly, Asta himself. What about me? This is pretty fun, honestly. We get to exterminate devils. Asta, this is a serious matter, said Fogleon. All joking aside, you must take responsibility for bringing back the elves. Help us figure out a solution. Mr. Lake, do you like your home right now? Asked Asta. Indeed I do. The elves, however, feel uneasy about being back, because whether or not the devil interfered with their greed, it was there. He simply coerced them. Barely any magic involved, if you ask me. The room becomes silent as Asta smacks his hands. Alright, I'll just have to change their minds. How? Asked Nozel. Simple. I'm back. That should be more than enough of a warning. After all the crazy stuff I did, I mean, who would mess with someone who can reincarnate people? Oh, I guess you're right, said Marks. It'd be quite ludicrous to do anything now, but House Kira is trying to convict one of your companions. Nero, was it? Oh yeah, she turned into she turned into a woman? Said Fernand. She was always a woman. Okay, see, that's crazy, said Asta. That's what surprises you, they all think. Look, we don't have to coexist either. I didn't bring you back for my purposes, said Asta. These lives are yours. You do what you want with them. The anger you have, it's justified. I'm sure the sight of humans still anger many of you. No one is that benevolent. We took your kids, your loved ones. You owe us nothing. So whatever you choose, I'll support you no matter what. He's not lying, thought Raya. He really did all this for us? Lake will look to his friends, and their gazes meet each other as he nods, and he looks back, saying, the elves would like to have a bit of time. You're right, we're not ready to forgive humans yet, but it's good to see how things have changed so much. He would stand, and Asta would say, cool. Oh, I have to visit literally every single one of you since it's been a while, and your forms aren't really maintainable. Who modified your bodies, by the way? I noticed that someone did. A human by the name of Sally. We have her in custody, said Julius. Patri then shows a guilt-ridden look as, after all he did to Sally and Rades and Valtos, he feels as though, well, he can't really make it up to them and he feels like a jerk now. And Asta says with that woman's help, they can make their bodies even better conduits. If you'll allow me, obviously. Of course, said Licht. Raya would then copy Fernro's magic and make a portal, and they begin to walk through until they leave, and Asta would stand and says that he has to go, starts running out. Where are you going, Asriel? The Heart Kingdom, duh, are you kidding me? I can't wait to see how much everyone's grown. He disappears in a flash, appearing outside the castle, flying out the kingdom at incredible speed, but Julius says not to stop him. He has a lot to think about, even though he may not be showing it. We shouldn't put too much pressure on a child anyway. That's funny considering what you look like right now, said Yami. Now we go to Asta. With the wind brushing past his face, he starts to sense multiple people with his senses, mapping out the land, and he sees multiple spars currently going on. He is already at the Heart Kingdom. Ooh, Liebe? Liebe? As he calls for his partner's name, he stops as his grimoire would fly out, flipping to a page containing the room that is his brother's storage space. He's weak. Is it because... He remembers Liebe lending his ether to the elves, and it all clicks. Liebe is gonna have to rest a while, because I wasn't strong enough. His moment at this point is ruined, however, as he forms a wind vacuum that blocks a giant sea dragon's roar, bursting through it like nothing and destroying it, leaving behind a mist, which Asta then blows away when from all sides portals form. Fire magic, spiraling flames. Oh, that's new. The flames will strike as we begin to see Leopold down below. Where did he go? Luck then lands beside him. You're really gonna wish you didn't ask that? Yeah, I know. Hey guys. As they feel a chill run down their spine, a hand would then grab them both as Asta would hug them tightly from behind. Ow, 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 that hurts, that hurts. I missed you guys so much. Noel. Flying down, Noel asks what took him so long. Stupid Asta, we were all waiting for you for a long time. Flying over at this point, Gaia has a look of agitation, thinking, that massive, ominous source of magic, did Megicula arrive too early? As he gets closer and closer to this source, he is joined by other spirit guardians who are then surprised to see Asta just catching up with everyone at a shore. Does that mean he's the... Yes, the very same one, said Gaja. Everyone down below sees them and tells them to come down, and so they do, allowing them to be acquainted. Of course, Finro was back. He literally can teleport, so he literally just came back just to mess with Asta. And Leopold said, we've been training, and they've been training us lately. We've grown a lot, you know. Actually, our queen said to quickly bring you to the palace as soon as you return. After all, the elves have now joined our region. Oh, that's right. Alicia is deep nearby, huh? Sorry about that, said Asta. No worries. They don't ever come out anyway, said Gaja. Please follow me. The rest of you keep training. As they nod, Gaja blasts off with Asta doing the same, following after him. And along the way, Asta would overlook all the geography, sense the abundance of mana in the air, and this is when they reach a massive crevice, inside which many waterfalls converge. They begin to descend until they land, and before Asta stood Lolopechica, in pajamas, and behind her, Undine. Sup? Gaja bows. I brought him. This is Asta. You're just as described, said Undine. Too carefree. Welcome to my kingdom, said Lolopechica. As she takes a step forward, she begins to fall, however, when a whirl of wind blows her back to be caught by Undine, leaving her gasping for breath. I'm sorry, I really just couldn't stop. Wow, you are a really meek queen, huh? Shut your mouth, shouts Undine. He doesn't know what he's talking about, Lolopechica. It's fine. We were also told how straightforward he was. Even Sir Julius can't hold him down. A true arcane stage mage. I've been waiting to let you know of this the most. She would then lift up her shirt, showing the curse, which instantly gets a rise out of Asta as his demeanor quickly changes. Who the hell do I need to beat the crap out of, Your Majesty? In the following moments, he is filled in on what the others were told, and the reason they're training is now more clear. But now that obviously Asta had ended one crisis, another rises. He just can't seem to catch a break, and neither can Yuno. We head to the Golden Dawn, finding all the members out on the plain near their base as they all watch shocked as Yuno holds his blade of Zephyr at Langris's neck. I win, he said. Yuno really beat Vice Captain Langris. Why did he even ask for this fight out of nowhere? Didn't you hear? Said Klaus. Asta has returned. As soon as he heard, he got a huge grin, said Mimosa. Langris laments at his loss as Yuno puts away his blade with the bell leaving his body, when he would then hold his hand out for Langris, who surprisingly takes it and stands. You'll never catch up to me. Asta's my rival. We'll see about that. Time skip. 3 months have passed, not 6, since Asta's return, and the elves have fully settled in. The bulls are growing every day exponentially and constantly. Yuno has already attained Saint stage. As crazy as that might sound, Yuno grows stronger proportionate to Asta, and Asta as he is now, after recovering, he's just on a whole other level. The elves get visits from him and Sally, who reinforce their bodies, making them more comfortable, effectively making them as they were before, just way more reinforced since they're basically using doll bodies. This is actually due to the fact that Asta can now, by himself, not only create crystal-like energy weapons from the pure ether in the air, as well as use spatial magic, much better, developing God Step as well, which he discovered in his past life. Leywin is also back and has become stronger as well, with he and Asta working on their union form a little bit more. Also, he got rid of Little Petrica's curse, so that's going to be interesting. Once again, a beautiful day sets on the Clover Kingdom and its citizens as they cheer in unison at a certain stadium. They notice not that their very own Wizard King sits amongst them in plain sight, however, and all the Magic Knights present and not on missions watch attentively for who fights first in this wall tournament as Mimosa and Klaus introduce themselves. Welcome one and all to the Triumph. To celebrate the Clover Kingdom into a new age, our Wizard King has decided to bring back this old tradition. Klaus, why are we doing this, by the way? Why? Because we are the Honorable Golden Dawn, and turn off the device before speaking to me. Oh right, sorry. Those from the Forsaken Realm and anywhere in the region close enough watch via Mars's magic, also taking pleasure in all this, as Horo, one of Asta's orphan siblings, asks, "Hey, where's Asta?" "I'm sure he'll show up, don't worry," said Lily. Now back at the stadium, laughs spread through the crowd, with us panning to the Black Bulls altogether but missing Asta. "Maybe I should have taken a spot up there," said Magna. "The announcements were boring." "Who would ever put Mimosa as a presenter?" said Noel. "Also, where the hell is Asta? You know he's having fun back at the Heart Kingdom, said Vanessa. Well, fun for him, terrifying for the Spirit Guardians." "Asta's killing them right now," said Luck. Mimosa then says, "So, for our first match from the Golden Dawn, we have the Vice Captain Yuno." As he makes his way onto the stage, Yuno explodes with a tornado of wind, rallying to him squeals of his many fans before the wind then dies down. And in the other corner, we have Note. Making his way in, a man with a mask surprises many as they cannot even sense his mana, even though it's clear he does have some. "Who the hell is that guy? How is he doing that?" "Oh, you're trying to take Yuno lightly, huh?" said Belle, dauntingly pointing at Note. The man does not answer at all, and Mimosa shouts to begin, and holding his hand forward, Yuno releases a violent blast of wind, at which point Note creates a blade of ether cutting through this attack while the floor is torn to rubble, and some recognize this power. "Did you really think you could fool me, you asshat?" shouts Yuno. As Note fades the sword away, he reaches for his mask as it is absorbed into the rune on his arm to show Asta, and everyone erupts into shock and gasps and applause. "Oh, come on, I think I did myself here," said Asta. As Libby appears, he says, "I told him to just use his name, but you know how he gets." "Of course I do." "It seems Asta has snuck into the competition," said Mimosa. "Our first round is going to be quite interesting." Many begin to get hyped for this fight, but Asta looks around, taking note of 4 people's specific mana signatures, and says, "You know, I didn't just come here to fight you, by the way." "What's wrong?" Before he can answer, a massive barrier holding hexagonal patterns covers the entire stadium, dimming it of light and catching everyone by surprise as they begin to rise from their seats in panic. "Just what is this enormous amount of mana?" thought Marks. "See, that's what I'm here for," said Asta. a bright shining light occurs as a pillar of light begins to rise, and then another one, and another, all around the stadium. This bizarre light begins to sap those not strong enough of their mana, and